What's up everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on Let's Selectors, and just like that we just had all the championship fixtures finished yesterday. We've got a short turnaround. We've already got to predict week 40 as they are all taking place on Easter Monday. This will be the last video I make before it is Easter Sunday, so do have a wonderful Easter everyone. I hope you guys have a very lovely Easter break. We are going to be treated with 12 fabulous games that we are all going to have to watch. And you guys can comment your predictions in the comments down below to score some more points for the Let's Selectors Football Prediction League, where there will be an update coming very, very soon. I'm just so excited. I need to go straight into this. If you guys enjoy what you see, please smash the like button. It really does help the growth of this channel. If you've not hit the subscribe button, please also do that. It really, really helps the growth of this channel as well. And sharing the channel and this video as well will also really, really help as well. But without any further ado, let's start predicting Monday's games. So we're going to start off with Leicester going up against Norwich. I mean, are we seeing as big of a collapse as we're seeing with Leicester in any championship season? It's quite rare for me to think of a situation like this, because Leicester, after losing to Bristol City yesterday, they have now fallen into the playoff places. And obviously, I talked about their off-the-field issues. I was expecting Leicester to bounce back from them there, and whilst the result did not show it, they missed some really, really big chances. And potentially we're seeing a team kind of faltering under the pressure at this moment, and Leicester really cannot afford this. But Norwich is not really the side that Leicester would want to be playing if they need to go back to winning ways, which I think they really, really ought to. It's 3 defeats in their last 5, and if they are not careful, they are going to lose touching distance of Ipswich and Leeds if they are not careful. Norwich, they are going to be determined. They won their game yesterday against Plymouth. Wasn't necessarily a convincing performance, but they got the job done and showed a good test of character to go and complete a comeback from 1-0 down to win 2-1 in the end. I think with this game, it's really open. It could really go to anyone. As a prediction, I think I'm going to go for a draw here. I think Leicester will continue to drop points. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, which will really blow things wide open, not only for the promotion race, but could potentially blow things wide open for the playoff places as well. It's so exciting, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Birmingham versus Preston. A bit of a sucker punch for Birmingham with the fact that they did lead against their relegation rival QPR. They lost all 3 points within a last-minute wonder strike by Jimmy Dunn, which we didn't even know he had that in his locker. But moments like this is why we absolutely love the championship. And quite honestly, it was a huge moment within that game. And it does put them in a very perilous position. They're only above the bottom 3 on goal difference now. Preston, they had a very comfortable win against Rotherham. They didn't really learn too much. Some great performances by Reece Jacobson and Borky Jensen. So those were sort of the stand-up performance I was expecting from the Preston point of view. This game I think will be tougher. And I think if Birmingham want to survive, they really got to make St Andrews their fortress from now to the end of the season. But playing against a Preston side, gunning for top 6 and looking pretty strong, but they're going to be fighting all the way. I think it's going to be a tough one. As a prediction, a draw wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to edge the away side for a 2-1 away victory. I think they've got a little bit more quality and confidence going forward at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Coventry versus Cardiff. 2 very different results from both sides yesterday. So Coventry got a 2-goal win over Huddersfield, beating them by 3-1. It does stop their clean sheet record and their really good defensive record going up to this game, but they still won relatively comfortably in the end in terms of the scoreline. Performance-wise, I thought Huddersfield actually did okay in that game, but Coventry did well to win by the 2 goals in the end, and because of that, they are now in 7th place and are trying to breathe down Norwich's neck, and they'll see an opportunity for Norwich to drop points as they play against Leicester as well. Cardiff, they had a pretty poor performance before the international break against Swansea, and that followed that up with even poorer performance probably against Sunderland, losing back-to-back games, and it does dwindle their chances of getting into the top 6 now, in my opinion. If they're 11 points off, then I think it's going to be very difficult for them to get into the top 6 now, and it's really just going to be down to whether Cardiff can finish higher up the table as possible. As a prediction, I think with Coventry having way more to play for, I think that's going to edge them. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Coventry. Let me know what you think of that, though, in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Middlesbrough versus Sheffield Wednesday. Whilst Middlesbrough picked up a fabulous point against Southampton, a last-minute equaliser in the end by Emmanuel Latela, I think similarly to Cardiff, they are in a situation now where they've got quite a big gap to try and close down onto Norwich. A 9-point gap at this stage of the season is not easy to overturn. So again, I think likewise with Cardiff, Middlesbrough will be wanting to end the season trying to finish as high up the table as possible. Sheffield Wednesday, however, have got a massive point to play. So they got a point against Swansea. Sheffield Wednesday fans probably quite mixed after this game. You know, it is a 1 point closer to survival, knowing that those teams around them in the table did lose yesterday. But at the same time, that was a big opportunity missed, because had they picked up 3 points, Sheffield Wednesday, they would have been outside of the bottom 3. So if they do have these really good home games, Sheffield Wednesday cannot afford to drop too many points just like that if they do want to have a strong chance of survival. I still think they are really getting a pretty strong chance. I think against Middlesbrough, though, it's going to be a tough game. Prediction here, a draw, I think, might be the option I go for. I can't really edge either one of them. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, simply because I just don't think Middlesbrough will be able to edge Sheffield Wednesday with what Sheffield Wednesday have to play for. So I'm going to go 1-1. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Plymouth versus Bristol City. This is a huge game for Plymouth, I think, especially. They've got a home game right now. Plymouth's home form has really taken a nosedive since Ian Foster's taken over. And I was thinking that if Plymouth had a strategy in place to get someone in to galvanise the team, I thought they would have done it by now, but they have not. They did lead against Norwich for quite a good period of the game, but ultimately they did lose out. And there is definitely a sense of fear amongst the Plymouth fans that they could be dragged into the relegation zone. I mean, their form is not showing good reading. 4 losses in 5 is not good at all. Bristol City, you know, that performance against Leicester was unbelievable, and that is what they have in their locker, but they are really inconsistent. And honestly, the favourites you would think are Bristol City, but because of their inconsistency with their form, it wouldn't surprise me to see Plymouth get something. But I am being mindful that Plymouth's home form has taken a nosedive. And as a prediction, I'm actually going to go for a back-to-back win for Bristol City and go for a 2-1 away victory. But a draw literally wouldn't surprise me either. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Rotherham versus Millwall. Now, Rotherham are sitting in 24th place at the moment. It's looking very bleak for them. And in fact, a defeat here will mean that they are automatically relegated. The maximum amount of points that they could pick up after this game week, if they lose against Millwall, would be 38 points. And that would actually mean that they guarantee finishing last place as well, because 23rd place is Sheffield Wednesday with 39 points. So ultimately, they need a draw to even make sure that they don't finish last place in the table. So if any of you predicted Rotherham in 24th, that position looks to be fulfilled if they do lose this game. And quite honestly, they're not really playing the team with a lot of confidence at all. Millwall are playing with a lot more confidence. They're picking up much more consistent results. I thought they had a pretty good performance against West Brom, picking up a really good point as well. Prediction here, you would think with Millwall, if they can pick up 3 points here, it will really put them a big boost of surviving, because that'll put them on 47 points. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Millwall, really making them in touching distance of survival, but it will really send Rotherham down as well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Stoke versus Huddersfield. Massive win for Stoke yesterday against Hull City. And Stoke have been picking up a couple of good away wins quite recently. I remember their one against Preston as well being a very important win as well. And they have really been able to turn it on, actually, Stoke, when it's come to those tough moments. And I'm really impressed with their mentality. Huddersfield, I'm a bit fearful with their chances. They did have all right form, but now they've hit a bit of a rocky patch. It's 3 defeats in their last 4 matches. But with really winnable games coming up for Huddersfield, where they've got to play against teams in and around their region of the table, they really got to be taking advantage. Not only trying to get points, they really need to get 3 points. They need to get wins and try and drag them down, and whilst keeping them up. So for me, I think Stoke wouldn't mind a draw, but Huddersfield need a win. So definitely very different motivations. And as a prediction, I'm going to go for a draw, which will be a little bit more helpful for Stoke than it will be for Huddersfield, but it will mean that they are 1 point closer potentially of getting out of the bottom 3. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. And honestly, it's really going to make things in the bottom 3 just even more intense. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Sunderland versus Blackburn. Sunderland picked up a good win last game against Cardiff. I think likewise with Cardiff and Middlesbrough, you've got that region of the table that are looking to finish in that region of the table, and it's going to take an almighty miracle for them to even try and get top 6. I just don't think, I can't see it, unfortunately, with them there. But they can end the season quite well, and if they perform the way that they did, I think they will. Blackburn, I actually thought played really well against Ipswich. They did have a goal disallowed, and I do think their performance didn't necessarily credit the scoreline. They lost in the end, and they didn't pick up any points as a result of this. And I don't know if it was part of it with Ipswich being poor or Blackburn being good, but just not getting luck going their way. Could be a combination of both, but I'll be interested to see how they respond here, because if they do play like what they did against Ipswich, I would be expecting them to have a chance here. As a prediction, no, I have a sneaky feeling that if Blackburn turn up in this game with the wrong attitude, I think Sunderland will pick them apart here. I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Sunderland. I have a sneaky feeling that Sunderland may go on a positive momentum near the end of the season. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Swansea versus QPR. Swansea, to me, are looking pretty safe at the moment. They're on 47 points. I think it'll be very unlikely for them to be dragged right in the dogfight of relegation now, especially with the fact that they did pick up a point against Sheffield Wednesday as well. So they did prevent getting themselves dragged into it if Sheffield Wednesday had won that game as well. QPR, what a result that was. Probably one of the results of the weekend, one of the notable moments of the weekend. An incredible goal by Jimmy Dunn to really not only, devour Birmingham, but it was a comeback as well. And the character they showed to complete that comeback is giving me a good amount of confidence that QPR could survive. And they're 18th place in the table. They are looking a lot more comfortable now. It's not game over yet, though. I do think they need maybe 2 more wins, I'd say, to guarantee survival. 2 more wins will put them on 49 points. You think around that region of points should get them survival. But I don't know. It's going to be twists and turns, I think, throughout the relegation battle this season. A prediction here, honestly, I feel like either one of these sides winning would surprise me, but I have a feeling this game could just be a bit of a non-entity for me. I think it's actually going to end as a 0-0 draw. I see Swansea, having a bit of an off day, QPR probably not hitting the same attacking heights. When you get the buzz of that and then you have to try and pick that up within a matter of days, I think it's just going to be quite difficult for them to bring that same intensity. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is West Brom versus Watford. Now, I'm really intrigued about this game because I think it's going to be a very close one again. I think all these games, actually, as a whole, are going to be very, very close encounters. West Brom picked up a draw against Millwall. I don't think a convincing performance by West Brom, but they did well to eventually get a point in the end. They did, however, allow Norwich to win their game, and Norwich have closed the gap on them, and so have Coventry and Preston, to be fair. So West Brom may not be guaranteed to finish in the playoffs just yet. They've got to be very, very careful with that and to make sure that they are able to turn that form around. Watford had an impressive performance against Leeds. I watched it live on my last watch along, and I was so impressed with the pressing, the confidence, and just even the individual players chipping in and showing what they can do. Asprilla, but also Emmanuel Dennis. I thought those 2 attacking players were the 2 standouts for what I saw in that game, and I was really, really impressed with that whole structure of what Watford showed. And as a prediction here, I think Watford will get something here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw again, which will be quite unhelpful for West Brom as they try and secure top 6. Watford, for me, don't really have anything to play for. They're really now just playing for pride, I think, for the rest of the season. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We now have the final 2 later games. We've got to talk about Ipswich Southampton. This game is going to be absolutely bonkers, I can already tell you. The reverse fixture was when Southampton were in a tough period of the season. Ipswich managed to win by 2-1 in the end. Ipswich, I don't think will have necessarily the strongest team going into this game. I think there's an illness going around within the training ground as well. That's what I've been seeing. And there is evidence that there's been quite a few players off sick, which is probably explaining the low performance levels. But they really, really need to bring it at Portman Road. And I really hope in the days after Blackburn that they can recover and really recover, because Southampton are going to really, really desperately need this. They threw their lead away against Middlesbrough and conceded a late goal, and that really is the difference. Ipswich led and they held on for 3 points. Because of that, Ipswich now have a 10-point gap from Southampton, but having played 2 games more. So if Southampton win this one, they will not only be 7 points behind Ipswich, but they will have 2 games in hand over them as well, and win both of those, they could be within 1 point of Ipswich. So this game is really do or die for Southampton. If they lose it, I think it's game over. They won't be overtaking Ipswich in my opinion. But if they win this one, I think it's game on, and they really have a really strong chance. A prediction here, honestly, I just feel like I can't predict Ipswich to win. I feel like I'm a really negative jinx to them. And honestly, I want to make sure that my employers at Ipswich still keep me on, because I know they know I make these videos as well. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I have a feeling there's going to be a goal fest. I think it's going to be 2 expansive teams trying to unlock each other. And I think we're just going to get so many goals. It's going to be a mad one. So we typically see those sorts of games in Portman Road. So I think we will be delivered with another classic. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The final game to predict is Leeds versus Hull. Leeds, this is the second time in 2024 where they dropped points. Huddersfield were the first team. Watford were the second team to take points from Leeds in 2024. But I've got to say, what a game this was. And whilst Leeds weren't at their best, I think Somerville's individual performance was sensational. And I think for a defensive performance, I've got to give credit for Archie Gray. I thought those 2 players, defensively and then attacking-wise, retrospectively, thought did really, really well doing at their own work. And a great test of character as well for them to fight back and to get that equaliser as well. Especially when they were behind in the game for majority of that game. Leeds kept pushing and they were very patient, and they eventually managed to get a draw in the end. Hull are struggling at the moment. They invested, some great quality in the January transfer window. Their form, they're winless in their last 5. They had 4 consecutive draws. That was then followed with a defeat in their last game against Stoke. They really ought to try and pick things up, because if they do not win this game, they could potentially find themselves a situation where they're 9 points off the top 6. So Hull, for me, this is their last chance to get something here. I know they've got some important games against other top 6 rivals, but if they do lose this one, it's going to be a mountain to climb for Hull. As a prediction, I'm going to go for Leeds just to get another win. Ellen Road's been so formidable this season. I think it's going to continue that way. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Leeds United. I think it'll feel quite routine for them. But for Hull, it's going to be a very, very poor defeat again. And I've got to say, they have picked up points against Leicester and Southampton away from home. So I know they're capable of doing that. I just have that feeling Leeds will be able to handle the pressure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So guys, these are my predictions for week 14 now concluded. As always guys, if you want to get your predictions involved in the prediction league, make sure you comment them in the comments down below. So, that'll wrap it up. Having a very enjoyable Easter, everyone. If you've not smashed the like button, please do so. It really does help. Please subscribe as well. It really helps. And sharing the channel too. All these things really, really do help the growth of this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if it's on the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone, and have a very enjoyable Easter.